There's only one perspective with the best third-person games of 2021.
We will discover wisdom or death on the battlefield.
At first, a simple perspective change doesn't seem to make much difference to a game. Some games even let you switch between them freely as you please. But when you dig deeper, there are many reasons to stay zoomed out on a character. It's a chance to center them as a person,
Well, I never.
and live through their experiences rather than bringing your own to a first-person point of view. We get to see every emotion play out on their face. We can see them in relation to the world, and sometimes even enjoy a little dressing up. If you like changing up your look, then you should also subscribe to the Logitech G channel for all the best gear to level up your setup. Okay, let's get into the best third-person games of 2021.
Anyway, sorry if this sucks.
As we said, third-person games are all about seeing someone else's perspective, and nowhere is that more apparent than becoming Psychonauts Raz. This is not a world we're familiar with in any way, so having his acrobatic, optimistic self guide us through Psychonauts 2 is a way to make all the weird stuff seem, if not normal, at least okay.
Memories, my boy. Just a show we put on inside our heads. Sometimes the first draft of the script stinks.
Whether you're on a psychedelic journey through the senses or cooking up catastrophes on a game show, Raz takes everything in his psychic stride. Or at least he tries to as we fumble our way through platforming. But in our defense, balancing on a bowling ball is not the easiest thing. Plus, this second installment means we get to find out what happens next in the story a decade later, as well as see all our favorite characters, bacon-loving or otherwise.
Well, here goes nothing.
Goggles on and dive back into those brains. It only looks moderately soggy. An icon in the third-person genre and for bold heads everywhere. Agent 47 returned this year in Hitman 3 for even more murderous fun. We could never push someone off a cliff, but him, he could.
Whoa!
And that's why slipping into his bar-coded skin is the perfect way to play. We get to follow Agent 47 through some of the most breathtaking maps yet in 3. From scaling the tallest skyscraper in the world nestled amongst the clouds, to creeping around an English manor as if we're straight out of an Agatha Christie novel. Each place is distinct, atmospheric, and full of the dangerous fun we love from the series.
Whoa!
Oops, someone lost their footing. Third person is also the best way to enjoy the wonderful disguises. Look at his little bow tie, so suave. And getting to watch him shimmy along walls is equally entertaining and terrifying. When we're the killer, great. When we're the victim, horrifying.
That's Madame Carlyle taken care of. Time to get the file on Arthur Edwards.
Third person doesn't need to be an actual person. It can be an adorable crow, too. Death's Door is an indie hit that was a brilliant surprise this year, an RPG about killing creatures to reap their souls. But in the cutest way possible, because just look at you, you're a sweet little bird. Getting to see the feathered protagonist wander the magical worlds gives a fantastic sense of scale too. You are a speck compared to some of the bosses or buildings. You also get a full view of every little detail, like the flower creatures following you from shrines. The isometric style is also a chance to keep an eye on enemies. Combat is fast-paced and unforgiving, so a rogue hit from an enemy behind could spell death. Which isn't great when you're meant to be the Reaper. Death's Door is a dark fantasy with wonderfully twisted stories that make the afterlife seem mundane in all the best ways. Kena Bridge of Spirits is everything we love about classic third-person action adventures. Thrilling combat, environmental puzzles, exploration, all in a cinematic animation that's like living through a Pixar hit.
Woohoo! Come on, Our village is this way.
The third-person aspect only adds to this as you watch the story, heartbreaking at times, play out. Kina is a spirit guide who must save souls from corruption and generally restore the world from its ashy grey reaches. Cleansing areas back to lush greenery feels sacred every single time. And somehow we've got this far without mentioning the standout part, the rot. These guys are just straight up adorable. Look at them. They might be the best thing to ever grace our monitors.
Oh, thank you.
Especially when we unlock various accessories for them and parade our little mushroom-headed friends about. Now, where do we get a plushie?
Something tells me you did not come to our village looking for forest creatures.
Hello, Spirit. I seek passage to the Sacred Mountain Shrine.
The Life is Strange games have always been about seeing new perspectives, learning each character's story and seeing their powers firsthand. Well, third hand. And Life is Strange True Colors is no different. We join our protagonist Alex Chen as she arrives in Haven Springs to live with her older brother, and with her power of empathy, which allows her to see auras around anyone feeling strong emotions and get insight into their thoughts.
Hey. I want to help.
The third-person perspective really makes you feel like you're getting a glimpse into Alex's world. Plus, if that's not enough, Alex has a killer wardrobe, which, if you get the deluxe edition of the game, will include some nods to Life is Strange games past. Yes, we're just walking around Haven Springs showing off our excellent taste in t-shirts. What of it?
Crap. Was I supposed to give him a hug? Does he think that I think it's not a date?
Aw. They'll get the hang of this one day, or not.
We are so thankful that Little Nightmares 2 is not a first-person game. This is not a world we want to be in ourselves. Best leave it to Mono and Six. This second installment to the spooky series is somehow even more terrifying as you guide the two through a new set of grotesque giants. It's these size differences with you climbing shelves like a ladder that make Little Nightmares such a hauntingly great third-person experience. Enemies loom over you as colossus. Their hands can swallow you whole. Their teeth would pulverize you in one bite. Their eyes ever watching. And these people have been corrupted beyond all normality with python-necked teachers and porcelain children. Don't be fooled by the cute protagonists. They are merely a beacon of hope within a horrifying world. Please don't eat me. Please don't eat me. Please don't eat me. We've spoken a lot about how third person gives us a chance to get to know characters, and Eastward's Sam and John might just be our favorites. John doesn't have to say anything for us to trust him wholeheartedly, and every single thing Sam says is adorable. This found family duo are forced above ground and must set off on a life-changing journey through the treacherous but absolutely beautiful pixel world. Its charm is like post-apocalyptic Studio Ghibli. Wholesome and endearing one moment, heartbreaking and dark the next. You'll spend minutes just wandering back and forth, taking in each area, from the gloomy underground to sun-dappled trees to overflowing marketplaces. Everything feels so alive too, as things move in the wind or adapt under light and shadow. Eastward proves that you don't need CPU melting graphics to create something utterly spectacular. Just give us a frying pan and we're good to go. We wouldn't want to end up in purgatory, but now we're here, we're kind of loving it. Valheim is a third-person adventure as you try to survive in the 10th Norse world. You balance your time between looking after yourself, building up a base and collecting food, with going after monsters straight from Norse mythology. It makes for a weirdly wonderful world to inhabit, full of breathtaking sunsets and lush forests with peaceful wind alongside the giant trolls. That's not to say it's relaxing. Valheim takes survival seriously, from eating a balanced diet of food for health to suffering in the cold, and mead fixing that issue. It's very realistic. You have to level the ground before building a house, and you better watch the wind if you're going out on a boat. Although, if you die, you just end up back here again. So goes purgatory. Maybe you don't want to see just yourself, but 60 other people as well.
A choice is merely a question, and I am always the answer.
Naraka Bladepoint has swung into the Battle Royale genre and kicked out all of the guns, focusing instead on intense melee action.
Not the first, not the last.
There are ranged weapons, so it's not just the clashing of blades, but you won't be able to hang back for too long. Someone could grappling hook their way to you any moment or parkour to your hiding spot. There's never a moment of peace. Then there are the mythic skills and ultimates, from slipping invisible to turning into godlike beings.
I am awakened.
Tell us you don't want to stomp on people like that. Beyond seeing yourself transform, the third-person perspective is a chance to really immerse yourself in the universe. The battlefields are vast. They don't just stretch out through swaying trees, but rise up with towers, statues, broken ships. If you can stay alive long enough to enjoy them.
I see the Maiden of Yushan deserves her reputation. But your journey stops here. I cannot let you continue.
The Twin Peaks-style small-town mystery is back, with Alan Wake Remastered releasing this month. It's not just the setting that invokes the feeling of a TV show, though. The pacing of episode-style chapters means tension can keep building throughout, which is why a third-person perspective is perfect.
My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer.
We may be controlling his actions, but this is the story of Alan Wake that we're following. He's traveled to Bright Falls with his wife after a 2-year stint of writer's block. His wife goes missing, and you're thrown into a mystery, conspiracy, and a little bit of horror.
Alice?
It's also part of the same universe as Control, with a few Alan Wake Easter eggs discoverable in the oldest house. So grab your flashlight and don't go into the dark.
With it, I could save myself. I could save Alice.
So, those are the best third-person games to play in 2021. Which character-driven games have you been loving? Let us know in the comments below. For more videos on games and the gear to play them on, subscribe to Logitech G. If you do already subscribe, thank you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss another video.
We did it! I can't believe what just happened!